There we go. All right. So for our questions today, I've been getting lots of questions about RFK going up yesterday and talking to the Senate, and people were asking my take on it. I'm not surprised at all. Uh, what you have to understand is that this isn't just a what's best for children. If this is what's best for our health, what's best for children, I don't think this would be that big of a deal. We have to factor in all the things that are going on. A lot of those senators, a lot of those politicians are on the take. They are 100% being paid to say things that are not accurate. Whether they know they're accurate or not is irrelevant. They're being told, they're being paid to say things that benefit their lobbies and their group. That is 100% a thing. You can just look at how much they were given by pharmaceutical companies, by drug companies, by insurance companies, by all sorts of things to keep the system the way it is now. And that's 100% a thing. Like, you can't argue that is the main reason that some of these people are saying that, because they're getting paid off and they don't really care about you, your health, your kids. All they care about is those nice big checks that are coming in, because those checks help fund their lifestyle, they help support their power base, all those things. Power is another thing. So the way the system is now, people have figured out how to suck the power out of it and utilize it to push people against each other. And so that's another thing. There's a piece of it where if the system changes, all the people who are using it right now for money and for power and for whatever are going to have to figure out a new way of doing it. And they don't want to change systems. And so there's that. There are people who believe that vaccines don't hurt people in any way, shape, or form, and that they only do good, and they're the only thing that's been created, on Earth ever, that has no downside and only has upsides. They actually believe that. So, all right, where this all nets you is, I think that we're moving in a positive direction from a freedom of options and freedom of choice and abilities direction. If you look at the entire country, I don't have a problem with vaccines. I think that we should have access to vaccines if that's what you want. So great, fantastic. But they shouldn't be mandatory. I've said this a lot. If it's a great idea, you don't have to force it on people. And if you look at the vaccine thing and you're like, well, once you get this is how vaccines are sold. This is not what I'm saying. This is what everyone's told about vaccines. If you get the vaccine, you cannot get the disease. You're safe. You're immune. You're perfectly, you can sit in the vat of this stuff and whatever that disease is, and you wouldn't catch it. That's what everybody's told. So you either got that as a fact, or you have this herd immunity where we all have to be immune, or else we're all going to get sick. Like, that's what they're telling people. They're like, if you get vaccinated, you can't get the disease. But if somebody else doesn't get the vaccine, they can give you the disease. And you're like, well, didn't I just take something to prevent that? And they're like, yes, but it can still happen. So what's really where this really boils down to is that no one's coming to save you. You're going to have to go out and you're going to have to figure out what's best for you and your family by yourself. Because the individuals at the government level, at the medical level, at the medical system level, those are giant things that will take a lot of time to change. If they change, they probably won't change that much. And my guess is that what is changed will be secretly changed back in the next administration, 2 administrations down the road. So there's way too much money and power in this for it to change back over to the nice side and everything be done for you. A lot of the testing that we have right now is wrong. A lot of the information we have out right now is wrong. A lot of the research that we have out now is not only wrong, it's corrupted. And so you kind of have to figure out, who am I going to listen to? At the end of the day, I think we can boil a lot of this down to, is the path we're on right now, and I do this all the time with people, I'm like, is the path we're on right now the path that leads to success? And we have to define what success is. So, all right, in my opinion, Success is going to be where we have a lot less chronic disease, we have a lot less mental illness, our quality of life is higher, and things, that's how we define things as better. Well, if you look at where healthcare is in the country is right now, I think the numbers that came out yesterday was over 74% of Americans, children to 100-year-old people, 74% have a chronic long-term disease. And the government and the medical system will tell you that that is because our bodies are flawed and they evolved wrong, and that's just how things are. That's their take. That's fine. My assessment is that we are not giving our bodies the things that they need to run. They have too many things, too many toxins that are keeping your body from doing the things it's supposed to do. We're not getting the information. We're not getting access to the information that we need and the substances that we need to move forward. That's my take. The medical system and the government are telling you that everything's fine. We just need more drugs. Again, if we just look at what happened in the last 50 years, we've been getting worse every single year health-wise, and we've been selling more drugs every year health-wise. Nobody's been talking about diet or exercise. No one's been talked about this yesterday. No one's been going through and being like, what is the diet for you? What is that? What is the exercises you need? What are the things that you need? People don't do that. And that is definitely not covered on insurance. So the model, you have to understand the insurance model is set up as a business. How do they make money? This isn't how do they take care of you. This is how do they make money? And so the insurance companies through PBMs, pharmacy benefit managers, you can look at that. The insurance companies are the ones making money selling the drugs. Pharmaceutical companies make money selling the drugs to the insurance companies that then turn around and sell back to you. The doctors make money giving you these drugs and having you take the drugs. And whenever there's a problem, you come back in, you pay for another visit, you get another prescription, you do another test, you go forward. So this is how the system's set up right now. And if you're like, well, that system doesn't work, you're right. The other side is that you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to get with people that know how to get it through, how to walk you through it. And you need to be taught, not only do you need to be taught how to be healthy, you need to be diligent about doing the things that keep you healthy. And that's hard. But everything that's important is hard. So as people are watching, if you're waiting for RFK to do a bunch of magic stuff and the country to get healthy all of a sudden, or the trash to be taken out of the food that you're eating, or the vaccines to be taken away from, you don't have to do the vaccines, or the vaccines become safe for you and your children. Or you're hoping that soon changes will be happening and then it will just make you healthy. That is not going to happen, ever. You're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to find the people who are going to work with you on your stuff. And you're going to have to make decisions on what should I eat, what should I not eat, and move forward. That's really where it is. So we can beat it. Oh, they did this wrong or they did that wrong. What are you doing? What are you doing? I have had in the past 2 weeks, I've had to tell 3 people who had good cholesterol levels and their doctors told them they were totally fine, but their doctors didn't do the test because, again, the medical doctors their practice is set up to integrate with insurance and integrate with the medical system. So they're not going to do the stuff that people like me did. And so they looked at cholesterol because their goal is not to fix your body, but it's to sell you drugs. They looked at cholesterol and they're like, well, your cholesterol is fine, so you must be great. And then I did studies on them, CT angiograms, that type of thing, and found out that these people were over 50, in some cases 70% blocked in multiple arteries around their heart because cholesterol has no bearing on this. And that's where we're at. Had they not come in, all 3 of these people in the next 10 years would have had a heart attack, and none of them were over 60. So 2 of them I would have died. Because when you have 70% blockage on 4 arteries of your heart, as those build up to roughly 100, there's not a whole lot of room that you can get oxygen to your heart and maintain function. So, and we're walking those guys back through resolving the issues that cause plaquing. We know what's causing plaquing. It's pretty obvious. The research is out. It's been out for a long time. There's a bunch of interesting research that came out now that's saying, no, reactive oxidative stress isn't it? It's not, and it's not just this cholesterol. It's this very specific type of cholesterol that's trash. It's caused by inflammation. It's caused by reactive oxidative stress. We know what causes it. We know what the top 4 or 5 things are. And pretty much every single person that we've seen that has these issues has plaquing. I've got a 30-year-old bodybuilder who's in phenomenal shape, 20% blockage. Why? Because of his chronic inflammation. And I was like, here are the things. And he was like, I've got 3 of those. He's like, why did my doctors never talk to me about that? I'm like, well, because their goal is to put you on the drugs and move to the next patient. It's not necessarily to make you better. And that's how the system's set up. So you're going to have to figure out how you're going to do your life, how you're going to do your family's health. You're going to figure out, are we exercising? Like, these are easy things. Are we exercising? Not even are we exercising right. Are we moving every day? Are we sleeping right? Are we getting in the nutrients we need? Like, look at your pantry. How much things are in boxes? How many things are in bags? Look at the labels. How many of those things have processing in them? How many of those things, if you let them on the counter, if you took your cereal and you poured it in a bowl and you just set it on the counter for 2 weeks, would it go rotten? Would it grow mold? Would it grow bacteria? If it won't do those things, you shouldn't eat it, because your body is based off bacterial function, about life function. So these are the things, and we can hope that one day that our government will come in and make all these changes, that it's going to help us out a lot. And I hope that happens. And I think RFK is moving us in a really great direction. The problem is that you still are going to have to figure out, how do you feed yourself and your kids? How do you feed yourself food wise? How do you feed yourself from a psychological standpoint? What are you watching? What are you putting in? Do you know what your purpose is? One of the biggest things, I talk to people about this a lot, is they're like, well, I have these issues and these issues are holding me back. I'm like, do you know where you're trying to go? Do you know what your purpose is? Do you have a direction for your life? Most people don't, because we know how to put this together. It's, future authoring is what Dr. Peterson refers to it as. I define it as purpose function, finding purpose. And so you go through and you kind of build up who it is you want to be, why you want to be that, and how you move forward. And that takes a little bit, but that's how we put it together. So that's the psychological part of what we're trying to do. But you guys are going to figure out, what are you going to do for your health, and you're going to have to put it together. And if you're trying to rely on, insurance to pay for it, insurance is part of the model that is keeping you sick on purpose. So that's kind of where it is. And so we can watch the fun and the games and the arguing back and forth between, the politicians and RFK and everybody else in our group. But for right now, for the foreseeable future, you're going to have to figure out how you're going to go forward, and you're going to get these things fixed. So, look at the model now. Look at where we're at. Look at how sick we are. Look at how sick we were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and find out that the path we're on isn't the path to health, isn't the path to getting better. And that path has been dictated, controlled, and run by the medical system as is. So if you want to change the way that your health is, you're going to have to change the system you're using. So you need to leave the medical system. You need to go into a more health-based system. Guys like myself, people who are doing these things, this is the way it is. And not everybody needs NAD or methylene blue or, all these little, additive functional things. If you'll just eat real food, get some exercise, get purpose and directive function in your life, you'll be a lot better off. So that's the path that we put people on. That's the path we put all the veterans from Project Reforge on for their PTSD, and they're all getting a lot better. This is the path that we're supposed to be on. So if you guys have any questions, hit us up, send me some DMs, call the office, pillarsofwellness.com, and we'll help kind of get you guys on the path, to where you need to be health-wise. But that's what I just told you is it. Cut the processing, get the sleep, get the sunlight, strip out all the processing and all the toxins, and move, and you will be healthier. It gets a lot easier if you dial those things in, but that's where you're at. So if you guys have any questions, hit us up. If not, we'll see you guys around. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for your time.